Let's talk about access and how we knowingly and unknowingly give people the access into our lives in ways that may cause more harm than good. Some people open windows into their homes for people that could even possibly have meant no harm, but have caused harm in the long run. When it comes to who we allow to gain access into our lives and our homes, we need to be watchful. Being watchful doesn't mean the same as being paranoid or thinking the worst of everyone that comes around you or gains access into your home. It simply means knowing where to draw the limits or where boundaries need to be placed. Literally speaking, for instance, let us use the physical building of a house as an example. There are people that you can only talk to at the gate, and for no reason but because you want to be security conscious. There are people that you allow into your compound but may not be comfortable enough to let them come into the house because of security reasons. There are people you allow to come into your home but they are limited to certain areas of the home. But then there are people who can gain access into any area of your home, whether you are present or absent, and that's because for all these people, you have varying degrees of trust for them to gain access into your home. This is also applicable when it comes to how you give access to people into your family's welfare. This is what being watchful is like. It's not from a place of fear, but from a place of gained trust. Now, knowing that the Word of God admonishes us not to put our trust in man, what does trust in this instance look like? You can give people who you trust and have seen from the fruits they bear over time to be God-fearing a level of access into your life. For instance, you are finding it difficult to communicate with your spouse or are struggling with parenting, and you share with these people. These people do not judge you or think highly of themselves or go about tale-bearing, but wholeheartedly talk to God on your behalf about the areas you're struggling with and give you wise counsel. You know that you can count on them to take on your burden as though they can feel where the shoe pinches. Another thing is that it's important when it comes to who you allow to gain access into your home or not, is that you be the example of what it means for someone to have received access into other people's lives, to others. And by this, I mean that in a world where it's difficult to find people to share burdens with and to be certain that you have given the wrong person access into your life, it is important to be that person. When you have the opportunity to be given access into the lives of others, be worthy of their trust. You will find that with time, you'll find people who are a reflection of who you are. You become that positive chain reaction whereby we all build a community of people who can be there for each other. So you can't complain of not having people to trust when you are not trustworthy yourself. It's also important to be mindful of the things you say about your spouse or family to others. For instance, in all fairness, your spouse isn't doing anything wrong, but you make it a habit to say things about them as though they are not doing enough. When these people use it against your spouse, you may not remember that you spread your family's linen in the open. Don't leave cracks in the walls of your home. Cracks are unique to each family. For instance, a couple may find it comfortable for others to make suggestions to them about certain areas of their lives, but another couple may find it intrusive and may not be comfortable with that. Look out for possible cracks and find ways to block them so that you are not oblivious when the wrong things want to find their way into your home. On your end, be sure that the building of your family is firm enough to prevent these cracks from happening when you're not looking. And even at that, always be on the lookout. So, an example of this will be doing something secretly from your spouse and telling only your other relatives. This is an example of creating a crack and a wrong access into the family's welfare. When other situations arise, it will be difficult to amend things within the family because of this crack that had been earlier created. Also, be mindful of your environment and what you take in from your environment. This day and time, aside family and friends, you may not have neighbors that are intrusive and can cause harm in the home because of the access they got. But right under our rules, many people have given access to social media into their homes, from comparison to being insecure and the likes. It is important to not let your environment, social media in this context, gain access into your home for negative reasons. Lastly, don't give access to negative assumptions about your spouse. Instead, have conversations about every and anything so that there is clarity about things. Remember that it is the two of you building this home together. So, talk about things so that you're able to reassure each other about anything that you're unsure of. It's sweeter to talk about things rather than make wrong conclusions in your mind that will give access to the wrong things. So, take stock of things today and look out for areas where you may have given access to the wrong people or things into your family's welfare, and prayerfully tread the right path going forward. Don't drive on cluelessly. Pause and be sure that there are no loopholes, that there are no doors left ajar and windows left open, so that these people do not gain access when you're not looking. It's very important that you are mindful of these things and block all loopholes. So I hope that one way or the other you may have learned a thing or two concerning giving the right access to the right people and being mindful in general who you give access into your family's welfare to, so that at the end of the day you do not unknowingly welcome in people who seek to cause more harm rather than good when it comes to the welfare of your household. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, to stay blessed. Bye.